welcome back to my channel. I'm super happy that you're here today. It has been quite a long time since I've made a video, so it feels so good to be back. I've missed you guys so much. So I actually started this area on stream and I forgot to film it. So here we are with the finished terraforming. If you were in stream and you saw it, that's awesome. You could always go back and check out the VOD if you're interested in seeing it. I have made some slight changes to what we did on stream, and I went ahead and tore down a lot of the decorations that we started on stream because I just honestly wasn't feeling it. So sometimes you have to do that. So I went ahead and kind of shrunk the two kind of cliff sides a little bit to kind of create a more narrow section for the entrance. And we're going with sort of an asymmetrical vibe here with resident services slightly to the right from the airport, which I've never really used before. I have been decorating with so much symmetry lately, so this has been definitely out of my comfort zone, but I wanted to start out here just by planting some trees throughout the area. I wanted this to feel overgrown, but I wanted there to be kind of a balance of trees and items. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that forest core is my all-time favorite, so I do have to kind of stop myself sometimes from planting a ridiculous amount of trees. So I did actually have to dig up a few, but I took that footage out for you guys. I tend to decorate in kind of a similar fashion as I'm forming these areas, where I try to map out the trees first, then I go to the pathing, then I start decorating and putting some items down, and I feel like that just kind of gives me a better idea of how the whole area is going to come together in the very end. And I was also trying to incorporate some more cedar trees, which I didn't originally think I would want to use on this island, but I think the darker green gives it some more kind of color variation. So I'm going to start incorporating those here and there throughout the island. I did want to create more interesting cliff decorations with this island as well. I tend to just fill up my cliffs with flowers and weeds and custom designs, but I actually wanted to create some little areas on the cliff where if people wanted to use ladders to climb up, there would actually be something there to see. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time decorating the cliffs on this island than I have in any of my previous. Cole decided to come and visit while I was decorating and laying the pathing here. I think all of the villagers were feeling a little bit neglected, as there is pretty much nothing on Foxtail so far, so that you'll see them all pop through and try to hang out throughout the design process, which I think is so cute. I'm going to try to incorporate several different kinds of paths on this island. I love this dirt path with the light green flowers. I think it's absolutely stunning, but I also really like that kind of green, mossy, typical spring core kind of path as well, so I'm going to try to use them both, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's going to work yet, but I guess we'll see in the end how it turns out as we continue to decorate on Foxtail. I do want to mention, you can see my gorgeous flag in the background was created by one of my channel members and my dear friend Nitsa. Definitely go and check out her Instagram. She posts the most amazing Animal Crossing designs, and she's a really talented artist as well. So I'm so grateful to her for creating this gorgeous custom flag for this island. I just think it's so cool. And then in the stream, we actually had this adorable little toy duck sitting on the stump there. Don't worry, I am gonna put him back because I am just obsessed. We gotta keep Quack Core going, and I feel like this is just the perfect little island. Look at him, he's so cute. I just can't. I also wanted to incorporate lots of the simple wood fencing on this island, which just screams spring core to me, so I'm going to try to incorporate that everywhere, and lots of the light wood variation, which is kind of the first time that I've ever really decorated with light wood. I tend to be more of a dark wood gal, so we are stepping out of our comfort zone in many regards here. This entrance was pretty tricky for me, to be completely honest, because I really wasn't sure how I wanted to fill in all of the areas, so I decided to try to create clusters of items. So I'm trying to create like little, I don't know, little areas with their own focal points here. I also wanted to incorporate the car, not that it makes sense, but I just think that it was kind of interesting, so I went ahead and popped that in as well. And then we have, I think Puddles is the little pink frog's name. To be honest, I have neglected the villagers already on this island, and I'm starting to kind of invite other villagers via amiibo, so I haven't ever really talked to, I think, Puddles very much. You'll have to forgive me for that. But you'll see I go to the front very, very often and kind of pan down, and it's just because I'm checking how the overall view is coming together. It is kind of important to me how the area is going to photograph, so I do end up checking that pretty frequently, and I highly recommend doing that if you are, going to be posting, or if you enjoy to take pictures of your island. It really helps to have kind of one focal point that you come back to, just to kind of give your build an overall, I guess, cohesive feel. I did want to incorporate some of the purple hyacinths as lavender plants throughout the island as well. I just think they're so beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to do that in the entire island or just a few areas around the entrance, but I tend to not use a ton of color either on my island, so I'm trying to push myself to add in some more color here and there, especially on a spring core island. I didn't want the purple to be too terribly overwhelming though, so I'm trying to be kind of choosy about where I place it so that it looks like it's relatively scattered when I'm finished with the overall design. For this area here, I mostly just wanted to fill this in with flowers and bushes. I didn't want it to take away from any of the other areas that we're going to decorate, where we're going to put some more kind of clusters of items. I just wanted this to be full and decorated but not distract from anything. So that's what I'm doing now, just kind of filling it in. And then for the area more towards the entrance, I did want to create like a little sitting area, which I tend to do with entrances just because I feel like it makes sense. But I have been seeing lots of other creators who are making spring core using these adorable little rugs to put underneath their benches, so I had to give that a try, and I thought it would really look super cute to have the wood partition behind, just to give it a little bit more structure, because I did feel like, I don't know, felt like these items were just like in a kind of awkward area. So I did want to include the plastic bench as well. It has a very like clean and minimalistic line to it, which I really enjoy, and I like the way that it looks with the wood partition as well. And then I wanted to include some more lighting. We do have that round street lamp, but it's towards the back, so I'm going to go ahead and place the white garden lantern here just to give it a little bit of light if you're visiting the island at nighttime. I'm probably going to end up setting the DA for this island sometime around, I'm thinking around March 20th, and probably evening-ish, so like 3:30, just because I feel like that's a good time to take pictures. So but I like to add some lights just in case I'm playing in the nighttime. I don't like the island to be too dark. And then over here next to this little water area, I just wanted to create like a cute little place where maybe somebody was sitting and enjoying the water. So I wanted to include some white sneakers on the island as well, just because I think they're super, super beautiful, and just kind of a cute little touch. I love incorporating shoes and socks. I think that they are just so cute. And then it was about this time I remembered to use weeds. I always forget to use weeds. It's seriously, I annoy myself with that, but they add so much kind of like texture. I also wanted to incorporate the step ladder, but I don't feel like it looks quite right, so I kind of gave up on it. And I needed to have the cruiser bike somewhere in the entrance because the white cruiser bike with the basket is just quintessential spring core in my mind, so I had to find a place for it to fit, but I couldn't figure out which way I wanted it to go, so I had to flip it around quite a bit there until I found a placement that I liked. Then Snooty decided to come and visit and water the flowers here. Snooty is not my favorite villager, but that was pretty cute, I'm not gonna lie. Once I kind of finished up that area, I'm gonna go ahead up to the cliff here. I wanted to create a little backdrop with the vertical board fencing, which is such a beautiful fence. It's highly, highly underrated, so if you're not using that yet, I highly recommend that you start. It's perfect for adding kind of a backdrop to items, and it looks beautiful when you pan down in between trees. And I'm loving using white customizations of items that I typically don't use, like that little bird feeding area. I did end up doing a little bit of decorating that I did cut out here. I just added in the Polaroid pictures and planted a couple of flowers, but I didn't want this speed build to be like 40 minutes long, so I did have to cut out a few more things than I usually do. One thing I'm not so sure about with this island is the picnic blanket codes that I'm using. I do really love them, but I'm not sure if it's too much green. Is there such a thing as too much green? I'm not so sure, but you guys will have to let me know if you have any different picnic blanket ideas, or if you think these ones are going to be good. I also really love these like flower circles. I think it's so beautiful, and I love the way it looks kind of offset by the tree. I just think that it just adds, it's not super realistic because you would never really see flowers that way, but I do think that it's a really cute little detail. So I kind of struggled with what items to place here. I knew I wanted to create like a little picnic area, but I wasn't sure kind of how I wanted it to look or what I wanted to do with it. So I went ahead and placed the plain party lights in the background. I really wish we could place something in between. I think that that would look so good. I guess I could go back and put a custom design there, but honestly, I'm probably too lazy. And then I need to remember to incorporate more ducks and bunnies onto this island because it's spring core. We have to, it requires it. I've been loving the pirate barrels, just the general like color tone of the barrel I think looks so good on this island. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this little like plastic stool. It's supposed to go in a bathroom, but I thought it would look really cute underneath the pound cake as like a mini table here. So I'm just kind of arranging and pushing the items so that they can kind of be staggered and not too symmetrical, because I think for a picnic area that looks kind of bad. So I also wanted to incorporate some more pumpkins onto this island. So it was about this time in the speed build that I remembered that I should probably try to use a few pumpkins. And then the garden rocks, of course, as well, I think are a beautiful little touch. They add a lot of kind of dimension to the build as well. So, and then for the area in front, not gonna lie, I really struggled. Anytime I don't have like trees to fill in an area, I tend to really struggle with placing items. So here I am trying to figure out what's gonna look good in this space, and then I decide to use the hat, and I wasn't really paying attention because I had used that hat design like down below the cliff, but I actually end up changing that area and putting a ladder there, so it works out in the end. Don't worry too much, it's not too repetitive. For the area kind of behind, I really wanted to have some windmills and wind turbines peeking out of either corner just to add some movement to the build. And I'm gonna go ahead and just tuck a little clothesline up here. Not terribly realistic or anything, because like how are you gonna get your clothes on top of a hill that has no ladder leading to it? But you know what, it's fine, it's all for the aesthetic. We're not gonna worry about it. Oh, and then I wanted to fill this in and with just some more natural items, so nothing too terribly crazy, just some flowers, custom designs. I mean, you guys already know the drill. You already know what it is. And like I said before, I wanted to pay more attention to the way that I'm decorating cliffs on this island. So the ones on the side here, I typically wouldn't decorate at all, but I decided to add in some items here, which I think adds a lot to the overall build. It just makes it look, I guess, like more detailed maybe. So I went ahead and threw a little toy duck up here. I'm so obsessed with the toy ducks. Like, they are so stinking cute. And these button designs, seriously adorable. Nothing too crazy going on over here in the cliff, but just a little something just a little something to give it some I don't know, some flair, some excitement, some jazz, you know. And then for the last kind of section of cliff here, I'm mirroring the other side by placing the vertical board fencing. I wanted to fill it in as much as I could and just kind of add more of a backdrop. I really don't like when you pan down and you can see the space in between the trees. It's not my favorite, and I think that the board fencing adds a nice backdrop to the wind turbine since there isn't enough room for a tree. And then I don't know if you guys noticed Klaus wandering around throughout this video. I absolutely despise him so much, and he's just so unaware of how much he's hated. He will not get away. Throughout this entire video, he is just wandering around. And at the time of watching this, I've already moved him out. I did go ahead and move in some amiibos, and I posted that video actually just before this one. So if you missed that and you're interested in seeing some villager hunting / amiibo inviting, definitely go and check that out. So we did get rid of Klaus, thank God. He is atrocious, and there there is no excuse for him. He is just doing the most. And then we have our last little section of cliff here. I wanted to create a seating area, and I was really kind of bent. Look at him again. Look at Klaus again. I'm sorry, he's driving me nuts. But I wanted to use the white garden chair variation. I always end up using the brown ones, and for whatever reason, I just thought the white would look so cute on this island. So I'm going to go ahead and try to incorporate a very small little seating area here. And then I decided to kind of place a garden wagon in front of the waterfall just to give it a little bit more visual interest, I guess. It was kind of hard to get all the items to fit in here, but overall I think the finished kind of effect is worth it. I did have to dig up the bush because yet again I have boxed myself in. I actually had to call the emergency services line while I was building this area because of how much I've cluttered up these cliffs. It's a little much, I'm not gonna lie, but you know what? I think that with the end result, it's very worth it. And then I wanted to create some more detail just by adding in the dirt path here underneath where the chairs are gonna go. That is such a good thing to do if you're looking to add some more just kind of detail, visual interest into your builds. Add some custom designs underneath the items before you place them. See how that looks with the dirt underneath? I just think it looks so much better than if I had just placed this table on the grass itself. So I struggled with seeing if this chair was oriented the right way just because of how much I've cluttered up this island. Seriously ridiculous. And then there is Klaus again. Like he needs to read the room, honestly. He needs to read the room and see that he's not welcome and that he needs to just go in his house until he is kicked off the island. But he is not a very self-aware man, I'll tell you that much. And that's pretty much it for this build. So I'll let you guys enjoy a little end montage here. Alright guys, that is going to finish off this spring core build. Before we say goodbye, I gotta thank the members of the channel. Thank you all so much. If you'd also like to support the channel, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when I upload. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!